Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. And today I'm absolutely delighted to be trying out this Boss Katana Artist Mark II, coming right up. First things first, if you are new to the channel, it would really help me out, and I'd be really grateful if you would consider subscribing, because I release 2 videos a week as a minimum, plus a live show, and I'd be really keen to have you join me for those. So if you haven't yet, do click that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload, which is usually Tuesdays, Fridays, and the live show on Sundays. Thank you very much. Now, let's get into the Katana Artist Mark II. And you might ask, why on earth am I holding and playing an acoustic guitar? Well, very simply put, if you look at this end of the amp, you'll see that the first setting here, which is lit up at the moment, is actually for an acoustic guitar. So that's the first sound we're gonna use. I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of how I'm recording this. Now, the mic in front is a Sennheiser E906, and that's running into a Zoom H4n little recorder here. Not this is the Peterson Strober Stomp. And I've also taken the line out from the back of the Katana, which I'll show you now, into the other channel of the Zoom recorder, and I've got it set to auto levels, so hopefully we can play about with this till our heart's content and it shouldn't affect things too much. But first up, we're going to try just a straight acoustic sound. I've got everything on this amp set to 12 o'clock, and I've got all the effects switched off, including reverb. Everything is literally at the 12 o'clock. I'm running it without the contour on, and I'm also running it at 0.5 of a watt, the quietest it goes, because this thing does get really loud. And in terms of the cab resonance, I've got it on a vintage at the moment, but we will look at the other settings as well. But let's just have a quick listen to how this acoustic guitar sounds just straight through the amp. Now, you won't be getting any idea of just how loud that is in here, but that is really loud even at half a watt, and definitely would be at the right sort of volume for practicing with a band and a drummer, which is incredible. So you can imagine how loud this thing goes, definitely giggable. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little touch of reverb to that sound, because obviously I think that that will sound really nice. So I think you can hear that. The reverbs are, there's 3 sets of reverb on this, and also 2 banks of those reverbs, but with green on, as you can see here. The green setting is a plate reverb. If I push it again to the red setting, that becomes a spring reverb. And I think you can hear that nice spring sort of sound. And then finally, if I push it again, it goes orange, and that is a hall reverb. So let's have a listen to the hall. And actually, that is a small hall to begin with, but if you turn it right up, you can get a larger sounding hall. Which is really cool. And of course, that is one of 2 banks of the reverb, and I really quite like that initial plate reverb. I think that's a lovely sort of really nice sound. So you can also add just a little bit of chorus. There's an effects section, a whole effects section just here, and you've got boost controls, which do things like drive and treble boost and compression and that kind of thing, and a modulation. And once more, once you go into modulation, which I think this is set to chorus at the moment, let's have a listen. There we go, nice chorus tone to add to that. Really very nice. So you've got choruses on there, you've got all sorts of different effects on there. And it also, if you look here, we've got a second range which has effects and delay. So the delay are the time-based effects, so we can, and again, these are tip and ring. So the ring does the booster and the tip does the modulation, because they're double pots. And this one, the ring does the delay, and sorry, the ring does the effects and the tip does the delay. So we can add a little bit of delay in there as well. Okay, so there we have it. It sounds great on the acoustic, but I know what you guys are going to want to hear it on, and that is the electric and the other channels. So we'll get to that right now. So here we have another Harley Benton guitar, lovely Harley Benton acoustic, and I'm just playing the Harley Benton Single Cut 2 because it's the most recent guitar I've had in. We've moved on to the clean channel now, and unaffected, just straight tone, that sounds like this. Really very nice. But once again, we really want to just adjust, have a little bit of reverb on that nice clean tone. I'm going to drop this back down onto the single coil settings and the middle spot because that's lovely for clean tones. And a little bit of reverb. Go a touch more. Let's add a bit of delay as well because we know we can just there. And a little bit of chorus as well. Very nice indeed. You can just hear that delay in the background, which is really cool. So that is the clean channel. I'm not going to use too much more of the effects because that is pretty much a video in its own right, because this has got all of the classic Boss effects. It's got drives, it's got chorus, it's got phase, compression, it's got flange, limiter, treble boost, tremolo, wah, delay, octave, tape echo, pitch shift, and lots of other modulation effects. So as you can see, that would be a whole video in itself, as would the contouring and tone shaping, which we'll touch on a little bit in a moment. But first, let's just get ourselves a really nice crunch tone. Back to the humbuckers on the guitar here, and we'll just switch this up to the crunch tone. And at the minute, it's all at 12 o'clock. Whoa, I forgot to take the reverb off. Really nice reverb. I'm just going to touch the volume down because that is very loud here, and I'm going to push that gain up. So I'm going to push the gain up to about 3 o'clock and the volume down to about 10, 11 o'clock. And I think you'll agree, immediately, even without touching the EQ, that really makes me smile. So let's have a little look at the EQ section. I'm just going to take a little bit of middle out because the other day I made a track for you and I used this to demo the SC Custom 2 that I'm holding, and I just took this middle setting down a touch to scoop out that mid, which sounds really nice, and the gain is pretty perfect there. So we'll leave that there and we'll just add a tiniest touch of spring reverb, I think. Okay, we'll have a listen again, and this time I'm going to switch between the mic'd up sound at the front and the line out at the back so that you can hear the difference. Because if you want to use this for direct recording, it's absolutely great. You can use it through the USB, but I'm just using the line out. So let's have a listen to the two of those in comparison here. So there we are. That's the difference between the line out and the mic'd up cab at the front. Love this Wazza cab. It is really, really awesome. So we've moved on to the crunch tones. Next up, we have got the lead tones. And here, I'm just gonna, oh, can you hear that? Immediately, that's given a little bit of background hiss because of that extra gain. Let me go also over onto the hall reverb, and let's put that up a little higher, and let's add a little bit of delay and see what our lead tones are like. So there you can see a really, really nice lead tone as well. Now, we don't finish there because there is also the brown channel setting. Now, this is based on the Boss Wazza brown tone, and this is an even higher gain, kind of, I suppose you would call it a tip of the hat to Eddie Van Halen tone. So let's see how this sounds. Whoa! And as you can see, that really does really rock out. A very, very nice tone on this. You've got 3 different tonal contourings, and that affects the global EQ. Let me show you. And they get progressively brighter and thicker. What's more, you have also got banks of those. So that was off, and now this is. So you can see there's a real range of global EQs. Lots and lots. So that's off, obviously, sorry. So again, without even touching the EQ, I'm able to set a global EQ. It works really well on the crunch tones as well. Let's show you that. I really like the idea of being able to shape the contour of the tone just with the push of a button. That's really useful for getting really cool and different sounds. I'm going to leave that off for the moment. I'm going to show you just one extra thing, and that is the cab resonance. And I'm going to show you on the crunch channel because that's best for rhythm, and I think that best shows the cab settings. So now that is the vintage tone, which is like a vintage 30. In the middle, we have got the modern tone, which tightens up the lows. And then finally, we've got the deep, which pushes the low ends and makes it nice and beefy and bassy. And I'm not sure if that comes out quite so well on the recording, but in person you can actually feel the resonance of this amp changing. Of course, I like that classic Celestian style vintage 30 setting, and this has got an amazing Wazza speaker in the back of this, a Boss Wazza speaker, and it really is pretty cool. Just quickly, I'm going to show you here as well, we've got two sets of banks, two banks of 4 tone settings. So you can create your tone using all of the settings on the front of the amp and then hold down for a second, and then it will store those in those 4 tone settings. And so you've effectively got 8 on here because you've got 2 banks of 4. You've also got a solo switch, which is down here, which you can control from the foot pedal, or that you can literally set on the amp. And of course that does exactly what it says on the tin. It boosts your volume a little bit according to where you've got the solo pot for when you're doing a solo. Let me give you a quick example. But believe me, that's a great little feature, particularly as it's foot switchable. In a live situation, you've effectively got 8 banks of tones that you can preset. You've also got the face value tones here as well. If you push the panel button just there, it will go to whatever settings you've currently got on your front panel. So effectively, you've got 9 settings which you can switch easily and very, very quickly. Obviously, this does a million different settings, and it will connect via the USB to a computer so that you can store all those settings, switch all those settings. It's USB switchable, it's also MIDI switchable. But the key thing with this amp is immediately out of the box, it just gives you some really, really nice usable tones. I particularly love the crunches, and the lead channel on this really sounds great. And of course that Eddie style brown tone as well. As I said today, I've only run this at 1/2 watt because the 50 watt is just too loud for in the studio here. It can be heard up and down the street. And the 100 watt, well, that's definitely up to gigging with a full-on live band. And also the great thing about the Katana Artist Mark II is this can be linked up with another amp, either a Katana Artist Mark II or something similar, to create a stereo stage set. So put one of these either side of the stage and you've got more than enough guitar tone to blow out the windows. So that's what the Boss Katana Artist Mark II is all about. It's giving you that versatility to be able to find your tone in moments. I've found some incredible tones on it. I really, really do enjoy playing through this amp. You're going to hear tons more stuff demoed through it. And I really hope that it's been useful to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, even though it's been a slightly longer one than usual. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a like. And if you haven't already, as I said earlier, it would really help me if you'd consider subscribing. So please do that. And if you do, don't forget to click the bell icon and then you'll be notified when I make an upload. I hope you guys have yourselves an absolutely awesome weekend. I'll be back on Sunday with a live show as always. But for now, we'll play out with a little bit more of this lovely clean tone on the Katana Artist Mark II. Take good care.